Good evening, everyone. My name is Maura Keefe. I'm one of the scholars in residence here, and I think she needs no introduction, but Eun-Me Ahn, thank you so much.
Hi, Eun-Me Ahn. Nice to meet you, everybody. Wonderful day today. Rain. We got rain.
It's the dragons. That's what I think,
Yeah.
right? The dragons summon
Yeah.
them. And these are some ghosts who will be sitting with us today. So it is a delight to see this show live after reading about it and watching it. Before we talk about the dancing, before we talk about the digital technology, we got to talk about costumes. I mean, think about how hard it was for me to just know I was going to be sitting next to this fabulousness, right? So right from the beginning, you've been interested in costume design and scenic design. And I've been sort of picturing you going into a fabric store or a home repair store, a hardware store, and just looking for things that are shiny and reflective and colorful. Could you talk a little bit about how you find the materials you want to work with for just the scenic and costume elements to start with?
The interesting point how I studied dance because of the costume. Yeah, when I was in Korea, after Korea War, we are such a when I was nothing in society, and then we've been struggling such a hard life, nothing. But suddenly when I was running around, kids go to the market, just playing by myself, and then one day I found a group which is rainbow color, and then sparkling crown, and then like a ding. And I was stopped it and then I ran to the group, and then I asked, "What is this?" They said, "Dance." No matter what to kids, I made a dream. I want to live like this. My life is gonna be this. I need color, the power, and the happiness. I don't know what dance makes me like this, but I have to learn that. That's why how I studied dance, not from the movement, actually the color and the power of the beauty, and then the dream for the endless happiness for the human being life, something like that for the kids. That was dream. That's why I love to study kind of what make us powerful, and then think and push the power from the bottom, kind of.
So I was looking at in the post-performance discussion you did when you were here in 2000,
Yes.
and a young girl asked you about your skirt, and she says to you, how does it work? And you said, well, it's magic, and then you said, it's technology that's magic. So that was an outdoor performance, and this is something now. Much higher production possibilities possible with all you've brought into it. But still, these things we see hanging are dryer vents or things that would be found, sort of backstage in air circulation. How did you realize, I want to put them into the world that I'm creating?
When you see if you come to South Korea, go to the barbecue restaurant, and then you can see many chimneys which is stuck in the smokes. They are clever. That's why we can barbecue in the inside of restaurant. Sometimes when you watch first, it's what's going on here? It's up and down, and then automatically kind of simple, but we call it technology also. Uh-huh. And then watching that kind of things, all your local life, normal life, and then you can develop something, in the other way completely. This is. People ask me why you brought this, and then this is body of the dragon, deep flexibility. We need that, and then we can communicate. Otherwise, we hate each other. It changed a lot in 1 second, and then it can be flower, it can be bear, it can be water, it can be crown, and the flower, everything. We have to have image in how we're gonna communicate each other in the world. Otherwise, nothing gonna change, and then it's hard. It's a symbolic idea of the dragon's body.
So one of the things that's so striking is the way you've investigated all the different things that are possible with this. I'm still speaking about the metal tubing, and it says to me you really have a sense of play in your research process. Could you talk about how you bring the dancers into now get in the tube, now wear the tube on your head, now and what it's like to cultivate that experience for them in the room, especially when they're so highly trained to do a kind of dance that wouldn't necessarily investigate those kinds of experiential learnings?
When I started learn dance, and then I was interested in all materials. I don't know why, but I'm all the time playing with something. That's why I'm curious about what its function. And then when you think about the one thing, and then you cannot create anything. That's why you have to think differently. You know, there is an Apple company in America, but anyway, I got that idea from when I was, learning the dance, not only for movement and the old material, because we live with some materials, living home, and then any things in society, and then you have to thinking what it changed us, or how the function, and then the meaning of the materials, and then who did developed, created this. That's also body, the technique, how we're gonna use the material, not only like stuck there. That's why I developed as a choreographer, and then it should be another meaning in the under the material, you know. And also it should be alive. Otherwise, and it's looks like, you know, nothing to me. And then I'm trying to put them some new alive energy into the material, and then it dances with us. That's why when I'm doing this, I try to many different things, and then I say, yeah, oh yeah, kind of. You know, scientists doing same thing. So every day examining something. What is this? Kind of. It's one of the happiness too.
So
for us.
so it seems like that sense of experimentation that you're talking about also suggests to me that means you're going to trust new technologies when they emerge. That obviously that's a kind of technology, but then what's right behind us and the projection and the holograms are a very different kind of technology. Some artists are afraid of that kind of experimentation, especially if they've used things generated by their bodies. Could you talk a little bit about how you were like, well, keep going?
I was like a choreographer who loves too much the body. You know, I believe that's power of dance. You know, that's second language for the human beings. Without kind of movement, is make us really stuff. That's why dance make a floating, and then make a smile, and then way of thinking differently. But actually, the pandemic started. There is no way to meet. You know, someone is in the Indonesia, and then they said I cannot come on me because Mama said don't to go, and then I understand.
No travel allowed.
Yeah. Definitely don't come, please. But I've been thinking about how do I have to make it or not, kind of things. You know, it's then only one way I have to learn, which is I didn't like, you know, online communication with a small cellular phone, and then we have to talk through this Zoom, and then hello, how are you? Are you there? It's really unrealistic, but only one way we can do something, never give up. I'm trying to deliver the message only one. We don't have to stop what we promised us. The result, I don't care, but the process is really important for the young generation. You know, I promised them to make something, and then they were happy, then stop. And then with the little, and then with my video director, and how are we going to invite them on stage together? That's the, you know, purpose. Let's think about it. And then we researched many technologies, but only the 3 hologram is the best. And then looks like we can make dancing together. You know, that's why we brought it. Very expensive. I
Don't
spend
touch
a lot
it.
of
Don't touch it.
Yeah. To develop the, you know, video is a lot of a process. Just body is simple. You can change it right after, you know, rehearsal, but the video shooting, editing, you know, color changes, so many works. I'm thinking, you know, process this piece is more than any longer process in my life.
So you're saying it was your commitment to the dancers that you wanted to work with. You had this idea about the dragons and the year that they were born, and then that you just had to keep reimagining what the dance was going to be. So one of the things I've been thinking is that the holograms they were filmed in 2020. Yes. Now it's 5 years later. Yes. You and I have aged 5 years since then. They're going to stay how they were. And I'm just thinking about the sort of the difference between live performance that's so essential to this work and the recording being of a particular moment in time?
I think after this performance in Korea premiere, and then we send the video to them. We never met each other before. And then pandemic opened, we can touring this piece in Europe and somewhere, Taiwan. And then we invite them to come to the theater. They watch the performance in their own screen. And then at the end they come on stage and then they go bow together. Like it's now we are keeping touch, and then if we go somewhere, we contact. Do you want to come to the show? And then it's something process. We are keeping touch for 5 years, and then they are taking master class now from freshmen. It's amazing too. And then which is they said this process is made them keep on study and then focus on the dance. In 2 years in the lockdown. That's why it's not only for like a process. It's very meaningful for them to communicate something,
So I was thinking about what common spoken language, because we hear voices and we hear different languages. And so you were already negotiating so much in trying to imagine everybody being in the same room. How were conversations happening? Were you finding common language, or was it mostly through movement?
English. There is no way. I cannot learn 5 different country languages in 1 year. That's why there is a guy, and he said, doesn't speak English. And then, Aji, you have to come to Korea. And then how are we going to communicate? Do you want to learn English a little bit? And then, I will try. And then everybody developed through this process. And then someone had a translator, but later on, he speaks English, which is, we need some language to, in common sense, but it's good for them. I'm so proud.
Thank you for
international language.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking in English with us. Okay, I got to ask about the clapping section.
Yeah.
It's such a joyful culmination of the world you've created. Could you talk a little bit about, after we've seen kind of elaborate scales of movement and highly technical stuff, here we see something that it's basic, it's body rhythms, it's clapping and patting. How did you discover that as kind of a crescendo moment for the piece?
No, clapping is actually Indonesian, folk dance. And then I saw in the Asian game, and then 1,000 people were doing this, and then they made own clapping. It's like play to the God, for the being union, and then their luck. And it was such a beautiful. We have it. Every country has same kind of power gathering. Being Superman. That's why. That's gonna be lovely. Everybody has a sense. And then we've been travel each country with dancers. We've been learning each country traditional dance and contemporary dance. What are they doing? And then that's all we collected all languages from each country, and then we put together. That's why what we use this piece is like a kind of a vocabulary dictionary, how we made it together, about love, about power, about the future kind of things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about, so we have you here for the rest of the week, thank goodness. Then the piece continues to tour. What else are you working on? Tell us a little bit about that.
After this, I just finished the premiere in Korea, and then we are waiting world premiere in November. But the Post-Orientalism Express, that is title. And we're going to start a tour with a new baby.
And so can you say something then about how making this work and the use of technology had an impact on making the new work?
No technology. Little technology, but only body technology. But more costume, more props. And then
more costumes.
Yes, double than this one. And then I killed all my dancers, but it's beautiful and powerful. Yeah.
So the choreography I wish we could also see is what's happening backstage, because there's a lot going on back there and a lot to keep track of. So I want to thank you for bringing dragons here and for sharing your sense of joy with us and giving us a new definition of dragons. Thank you all for joining us as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.